If there's one shot in the 2023 season that Novak Djokovic wishes he could do over, it was when he was down break point in the 5th set of the Wimbledon final. The score was tied 1-1. Djokovic was serving down break point. He hit a shot that I'm sure he now regrets, and Alcaraz went on to break and went on to win the tournament. So what I want to do is walk through the entire game, and we're going to diagram each point, because I think the way the game played out heavily influenced Djokovic's decision-making on that break point. Djokovic starts the game by serving at Alcaraz's forehand. Now, one of the things Djokovic loves to do is actually attack the forehand, whether it's Alcaraz or another opponent. It's a high-risk, high-reward strategy because in this case, Alcaraz hits a great return that is deep and puts a lot of pressure on Djokovic. So Djokovic doesn't hit a great shot, kind of hits it down the middle of the court. Alcaraz hustles over, and Alcaraz decides to neutralize with a slice at Djokovic's backhand. Now, Djokovic decides to gamble. He decides with his backhand to attack Alcaraz's forehand, and Alcaraz then hits a angle forehand, pulls Djokovic off the court, and Djokovic ends up losing the point. So I said this backhand down the line was a bit of a gamble, and here's why. It was the 5th shot of the rally. Now, the analytics show that if you attack the forehand within the first 4 shots of the rally, you'll draw 20% of the errors you're going to get from your opponent by doing that. And it's actually superior to attacking the backhand in the first 4 shots of a rally. You'll only generate 15% of the total errors you'll get from your opponent. Now, Djokovic attacking with the 5th shot, obviously outside of that 4-shot window, and as a result, Djokovic got burned. Sticking to his guns at love 15, Djokovic serves at Alcaraz's forehand again, and Alcaraz hits a weak return, and Djokovic rolls this thing over to Alcaraz's forehand, tapping into that 20%, and sure enough, Alcaraz misses the forehand. At 15-all, Djokovic attacks the forehand again with his first serve. He misses the first serve, but he's attacking the strength early in the point. The second serve goes at Alcaraz's backhand, and Alcaraz hits his return at Djokovic's backhand. Now, Djokovic doesn't hit the most amazing backhand over here, so Alcaraz is able to move over and then rip this thing into the corner. Djokovic is hustling to get over there, and he doesn't hit a great shot. It's down the line, it's pretty weak. So Alcaraz moves forward and has a short ball here. And from this scenario, there's obviously a ton of open court. So Djokovic is like, okay, well, Alcaraz can just roll this ball into the open court. So he is hustling to cover that shot. And what Alcaraz does instead is he kind of just rolls the ball down the line. It's not a particularly aggressive shot, but because Djokovic is hustling this way, he has to stop, turn around, he's off balance, so Alcaraz continues to close. Djokovic doesn't have the opportunity to hit a great shot, and Alcaraz can put this ball away into the open court. Now, we want to remember this exact situation because this is going to be important later in this game. 15-30 is pretty routine. Djokovic serves out wide, great serve. Alcaraz hits a weak return, and Djokovic just rips this thing into the open court. And Alcaraz gets to it, but he's hitting a running forehand, he makes an error. 30-all, Djokovic goes body backhand, and Alcaraz hits a short ball, and Djokovic moves around this. He's inside the baseline, he's got a forehand, and Alcaraz has now slid to the middle of the court. So Djokovic is going to hit a forehand approach shot here. And if you look at the stats on the Pro Tour, when you approach to the forehand, you win the point 78% of the time. When you approach to the backhand, you win the point 67% of the time. Now you might be like, well, Will, shouldn't I approach at the forehand all the time in this case? And the answer is no. The answer is the reason the backhand has a worse win percentage is because most approaches go to the backhand. So the player is gonna sit on this, right? They're sitting on the fastball, and so the changeup is actually super effective, but only when you use it as a changeup, right? So you basically approach at the backhand. Let's say the ratio is about, I'd say 3-1, right? So you kind of condition with the fastball. You go to the backhand, you go to the backhand, you go to the backhand, boom, changeup, you go to the forehand. And so Djokovic in this instance tries to go with the changeup. He tries to approach at the forehand, but he misses that approach shot. So that brings us to the point and the shot of 2023 that Djokovic wishes he could do over again. Now, it's a wacky point. Djokovic falls over. Why don't we just watch the point and then we'll talk about that one shot he wants to do over. So we end up in a situation towards the end of this 14-shot rally where Djokovic rips a backhand cross court, Alcaraz barely gets there, hits a weak slice, and Djokovic moves into the court to hit a forehand approach shot, and Alcaraz now has to hustle to cover the open court. So this is the exact same situation we saw earlier in this game. Now the roles are just reversed. Now, Alcaraz has a decision to make. Does he sell out to cover the open court, or does he decide to stay, anticipating the approach of the backhand? He has to choose one or the other. He can't obviously defend both. And he decides to stay. He decides to defend the fastball, and Djokovic kind of leaves his fastball hanging. He doesn't hit a great approach shot. So he hits that forehand approach, and then Alcaraz passes him down the line to break serve. So here's the fun thought exercise. At 30-all, the previous point, Djokovic went with the changeup. He obviously missed that. But let's say instead of going with the changeup, he went with the fastball. He was going to approach at the backhand. He still missed it, right? But now, because he had approached at the backhand, what would Alcaraz have anticipated for break point? Would he now have anticipated that Djokovic was going to go to the open court because he had gone at the backhand the previous point? I don't know. But what does seem likely is Alcaraz, because Djokovic the previous point had tried to go to the forehand, Alcaraz was like, meh, he's going to go at my backhand with this approach shot. Because when you watch it, Alcaraz just stops. He just anticipates backhand. He just stops, plants his feet. He's set for that passing shot. So, who knows what would have happened if the previous point Djokovic had approached at the backhand, but fun thought exercise. So if you want to make better decisions than Novak, you should check out the singles playbook. If you click the link, I'll show you one of my favorite plays. It is called Home Base, and if you like it, you can pick up a copy, and once you put the plays to work, you'll never regret a single shot you ever hit ever again.